Hello, hello, everyone. I am Libba Beaucham, the Interim Executive Director at the Northeast Georgia History Center, and I'm very excited about our members' virtual trivia night today. Tonight, about the Girl Scouts of the United States. Now, behind me, I have, very fittingly, the first headquarters of the Girl Scouts, which was, perhaps I shouldn't say her name yet, as it is going to be one of our questions, but it is part of our trivia. You'll learn where this house is located and whose house it was. Now, if you are watching live now, I would love to know if you yourself are or were a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout, any kind of scout, or perhaps other scouting names. I'm realizing that I just can't say too much right now. I'm going to reveal too much information. But thank you, everyone, for joining us for our members' virtual trivia night. Now, of course, anyone can watch our members' virtual trivia nights, but if you want to officially play, then you must become a member or a digital member. And here at the Northeast Georgia History Center, our digital memberships are free for Georgia teachers and homeschool families, and we'll have a little more information on that. But we are going to go ahead and dive in soon. Oh, Tanya says that you are a 15-year leader. That's wonderful, and welcome, Tanya. And yeah, folks, I'd love to know where you're watching from in the chat. Of course, the Northeast Georgia History Center here, we are in Gainesville, Georgia. And it's not too far away from the vacation spot of the Girl Scouts founder. Don't say her name. Can't say it yet. Like I said, we're going to learn a whole lot today. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, David is here. Hey, David. Our international friend. Yes, you were not, not a Girl Scout or a Girl Guide, right? Oh, that's wonderful. Good to see you, David. All right, folks, we've got our members that are playing and welcome members. So let's go ahead and get this game started. Now, we are going to start with a warm-up question, members. So there will be no points awarded for our very first question. But to get us started, I did want to talk about our digital memberships a little bit more. Now, our digital memberships, like I said, these are free to Georgia teachers and homeschool groups, but it's also a bargain for anyone else who is as much of a history nerd as we are here at the Northeast Georgia History Center. Our programs, while we do, of course, like to focus on our region's history, they're pretty wide-ranging, so even if you're not in the Northeast Georgia region, we offer programs about a very wide range of topics. And if you become a digital member, you get excellent benefits like our members mini documentary each month. This month is going to be all about the history of Grinnell University, which began as a small women's college in the late 1870s here in Gainesville. And we're going to have an interview with Dr. Trey Wilson, who wrote a book on the history of Grinnell University, but also kind of expand that and talk about women's higher education in the South and the history behind that. We also have, of course, our members' virtual trivia nights as part of our benefits, and we also have the opportunity for you to ask a historian, submit your questions, and get a customized video answer. And if you'd like more details on how to become a digital member, you can visit our website, www.negahc.org/member. Okay, as I said, this very first question, members, is going to be a warm-up question. And of course it is, what is the best Girl Scout cookie? Whew, I know, is there even a right answer? Could there possibly be a right answer to this? But go ahead, members, and select, what do you think is the best Girl Scout cookie? Now, personally, I have to go with the peanut butter patties. Ooh, but I see I only have one friend who likes the peanut butter patties. Samoas, I see. Well, you know, I do love me some Samoas as well. And we're going to learn quite a bit about the history of Girl Scout cookies along our journey. Oh, yes, and anyone in the chat, I would also love to know what your favorite Girl Scout cookie is. I see that Tanya says Thin Mint. Well, Tanya, I have to agree. You know what? Now that I think of it, I don't think I could really turn down any Girl Scout cookie. Okay, y'all. Let's go into our very first question. Of course, no points were recorded, but we are going to see our scoreboard of our members that are joining us today after each question. All right, the first official question. Who is the founder of the Girl Scouts? Was it? It is indeed Juliette Gordon Low. But the folks that you see on our answers are all related to the Girl Scouts or Girl Guides in some form. Let's see who's in the lead now. Ooh, I see Jennifer is in the lead, followed very closely by Terry. Now, keep in mind, the faster that you answer your questions, the more points you get. And you only have 20 seconds for most of our questions, only 10 seconds for our true or false. But let's learn a little bit more about Juliette Gordon Low. Here she is with the Girl Scouts. This is going to be in the earlier 1900s as that's when she got things started. And again, try not to give away information too quickly. And here's a portrait of Juliette Gordon Low. Now, this is when she's in her 20s. And as you can see, you can probably guess she's from a wealthier family. Her family, her father in particular, was a businessman in the cotton industry. And you can see there, I've heard some other folks mention at the tour at her home in Savannah, the birthplace of Juliette Gordon Low. You can kind of see that she's probably not the type of girl that likes just hanging out in a dress like that. She wants to go outside, and you can see by her expression that she may not be happiest when she's in such a tight dress, you know? All right, let's keep going. For our next question, Juliette Gordon Low was born in this Georgia city. Was it Atlanta, Macon, Augusta, or Savannah? Aha! Oh wow, we got some good members here. Very knowledgeable. Yes, indeed, it was Savannah, Georgia. But let's see who's in the lead. Uh-oh, Carol is now taking the lead, and Jennifer and Jacqueline not too far behind. Excellent, excellent. So, Savannah, yes, so Juliette Gordon Low, she was born in 1860 on Halloween night of all nights. And here we see a depiction of Savannah, Georgia in that era around 1867. So Savannah is still to this day a city of great importance in Georgia, but it was very important because it kind of was the founding city of Georgia, even when Georgia was a colony. So lots and lots of history with Savannah, and Girl Scouts is a big part of Savannah's history, as we'll learn. Now, I did mention that Juliette Gordon Low was born in 1860. That's just a year before the Civil War begins. And so her earliest years are a bit chaotic. Now, she is a family of some privilege, or within a family of some privilege. And so she does struggle, her and her family do struggle during the Civil War, but certainly not as much as others did. And here we see a depiction of General Sherman's army entering Savannah, Georgia in 1864. And little side fact, Juliette Gordon Low, at the age of 4 years old, actually met General Sherman because he was a family friend of her mother's family. Interesting note, her mother's family had strong ties to the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois, while her father had strong ties to Georgia and the South and a long military career on both sides. So General Sherman was connected to her mother's family, and yet her father fought for the Confederate Army. So it's a really interesting sort of tug of war with her connections and the way that I can't imagine how she processed that as a child, but a fascinating part of her history. All right, true or false? Juliette Gordon Low became completely deaf in her 20s. True or false? I knew this would be a tough one. I knew it would be, but I'll go ahead and say, well, first let's see what our scores are. Carol is still in the lead, but very closely behind Jennifer, and Jennifer has a streak of 3 correct answers in a row. Awesome, awesome. But yeah, a lot of people think or believe that Juliette Low was completely deaf, and that's simply not true. She was very hard of hearing, but interestingly enough, it kind of depended on the environment around her. I recall reading a wonderful biography by Stacy Cordery about Juliette Low's life and learning that, for instance, while she was traveling abroad in Egypt, she was able to, in her letter, she states that she was able to hear with the most clarity and didn't really recognize these hearing problems all that much. But Yes, she did struggle with hearing problems. She had chronic earaches as a child. She did try to get an experimental treatment with silver nitrate in her early 20s that ended up damaging her ear. And then in a bizarre accident on her wedding day, when the celebration rice was being thrown in the air, one of those grains of rice lodged into her ear, and the surgery to remove that further damaged her hearing. And so much of her life, she was very hard of hearing, but she would not be considered deaf or part of the deaf community. She never learned sign language. She did use some techniques to try and help with her hearing, some very early versions of the hearing aid that she tried out, but most of the time she just tried to get by with her hearing issues. All right, next, true or false. Girl Scouts of the United States were originally called Girl Guides of America. True or false? Very good. That is indeed true. And so let's see who is in the lead now. Staying the same Carol in the lead. Again, Jennifer's not too far behind, but Jennifer's got 4 correct answers in a row. So you got some competition, Carol. All right. So yes, here we have a really cool newspaper article. Now you can see there's a little tear where the G is, but it says members of the Girl Guides Basketball League. And now this must have been in early 1913, because Juliette Low did indeed found the Girl Guides of America, that later, just a year later, became Girl Scouts of the United States. And Girl Guides was a British organization. And this is a fun picture here. You see the medallion that Juliette Low's wearing. There's a silver fish, and that's one of the honors of Girl Guides. And because she took this idea of girl guiding from England to America, there was still a very strong tie to Girl Scouts and Girl Guides of England. And so she was awarded that Silver Fish Award, and it was one of her very prized special things that she had from the Girl Guides. Now, this is a Girl Guide manual. This is what they used in the very beginning. They used the British manual. And of course, it says there, how girls can help to build up the empire. And this was the original manual, but then, of course, later they create their own manual. And there will be a little trivia about that. Now, this is Agnes Baden-Powell, and she was the president of Girl Guides and the sister of the founder of the Boy Scouts, Sir Robert Baden-Powell. And she served in this position for about 7 years, and then a much longer career as vice president. But this is someone that Juliette would have worked with when she was learning about Girl Guides while she was living in England. And here we have what British Girl Guides look like in the early 1900s, and you can see they have their guiding walking stick. And Girl Guides versus Scouts. Why? Why weren't they called Scouts? Well, a Scout is a military position in the Army, in the British Army at this time. And so, of course, this is the early 1900s. It certainly wasn't appropriate for girls to be called Scouts, and therefore they were called Guides when they started this organization. Boy Scouts was extremely popular in England. And then girls wanted to do these fun activities too, and that's why they made the sister organization. All right, our next question is, registered in 1912, this 11-year-old girl was the first Girl Scout in the United States. Was it Daisy Gordon, Kathleen Henderson, Juliette Gordon, or Hannah Story? I see most of you knew that. It was indeed Daisy Gordon, the niece of Juliette Low. And of course, you may know that Juliette Low's nickname was also Daisy. Carol's still in the lead, but Terry is rising up in the ranks. Oh, and Jennifer has another answer streak. And here is Daisy Gordon, the adult, when she was a Girl Scout troop leader in 1948. And she certainly carried the legacy of her aunt throughout her life. Here she is in her Girl Scout troop uniform in 1948, her leader's uniform. And here she is demonstrating some kind of activity. Maybe it could probably be a nature walk, I would imagine, with Girl Scouts in 1948. And I think it's notable that these you see that these are Black Girl Scouts as well. So this is just before Girl Scouts is really going to make big moves to desegregate. So I thought it was interesting to show her of Daisy Gordon in 1948. All right, true or false? The first Girl Scout uniform was green. True or false? Ah, split decision, I see. All right, let's see what the score is first. Ooh, uh-oh, Jennifer has now taken the lead, and you have 6 correct answers in a row. Someone's done their homework. Excellent, but Jacqueline is also rising in the ranks. So khaki uniforms were made for Girl Scouts until 1928, but the very first Girl Guides of America, as we said before, that first year they were the Girl Guides, so they kept that navy blue color that the British Girl Guides also had, but they switched to khaki pretty quickly. And that was the more military kind of style, kind of like the Boy Scouts. I think that was in part, the switch to khaki was for practicality. There were requests from Girl Scouts that they wanted to wear khaki uniforms, and it also kind of matched the Boy Scouts, that sort of quintessential scout military color. But Girl Scouts switched to green after 1928, so in the same year, 1928, they decided to go green, and specifically Girl Scout green, to distinguish themselves. All right, true or false? Juliette Gordon Low sold a prized ring of hers to help fund Girl Scouts. Ah, okay, I see most of you got that, but I tricked someone. Let's see if, oh, okay, Jacqueline is rising in the ranks, but Jennifer is still in the lead. So Juliette Gordon Low sold her pearl necklace to help fund the Girl Scouts. Yes, Juliette Low largely funded the Girl Scouts herself in the very beginning. But of course that could not be sustainable as Girl Scouts grew in quite a rapid pace. And we'll find out kind of the reason things boomed for the Girl Scouts. But you can see there, she is wearing a pearl necklace. Now, I cannot confirm if this is the pearl necklace, but I would imagine so. This was actually a wedding gift from her husband, Willie Mackey Low, but they ended up not having the best relationship, so perhaps that was another reason she was fine letting go of this pearl necklace, but she did indeed sell it so that she could help raise for the Girl Scouts. All right, next question. What is the official Girl Scout motto? Is it do a good turn daily, be prepared, a friend to everyone, or for God and for country? Ah, okay, I figured this might trick a few folks, but it is indeed be prepared. That is the official motto. Now let's see who I tricked with that one. Oh, okay, so Carol got that one. Very good, Carol. So, Jennifer and Carol. Ooh, you might make a comeback, Carol. We'll see. So be prepared is the official Girl Scout motto to this day. And this was really important to Juliette Low, I think, because Juliette Low faced many things that she was not prepared for. For instance, she suffers the loss of her sister Alice due to scarlet fever when Alice is only 17, and Juliette is in her early 20s. She also, of course, suffers from the loss of hearing from that strange accident with the rice and the surgery on her from her wedding day. And she was also not prepared to have her marriage kind of go to shambles. That's a longer story, but it is another thing she was not prepared for is that she was also unable to have children of her own, and that was something, of course, there was a lot of pressure, of course, for women of her time to devote their lives to their family and their husbands. And so there were many obstacles that she felt she was unprepared for in life. And I think that's a big reason of why she wanted to prepare these girls in every way for whatever challenges were going to come their way in life. So be prepared is indeed the official Girl Scout motto. Next question. What was the title of this silent film that was created in 1918 to promote the Girl Scouts? Is it Scouting for Girls, Be Prepared, How to Be a Girl Scout, or The Golden Eaglet? Ah, I see. Yes. So not many of you knew this one. I see that one person did. Let's see if that changes our score. Jennifer is still in the lead. Great job, Jennifer. So I'm going to try to play a brief clip here. There you go. You can see this is from the actual footage. You can see this on YouTube, the whole movie. It's probably like 20 minutes long or so. And this was a silent film that was created in 1918 in the midst of World War I. That was to promote Girl Scouts and all of the valuable services and skills that they do for the community and learn through Girl Scouting. And I highly recommend checking out this on YouTube so you can watch the whole thing. It's a really great way to see the uniforms they use, the skills they really wanted to promote during this time specifically. And it's just fun because it's so neat that Girl Scouts had a silent movie in the really like the infancy of silent movies. So I highly recommend checking out The Golden Eaglet. All right, our next question is a multi-select. The first Girl Scout troops outside the United States were located in, and remember, you can choose more than one, France, China, Mexico, or Syria. So go ahead and select the countries that you think are the correct answer. I see we've got 3 answers in. Only 3 seconds left. All right. So I see that many of you thought France and Mexico, but it was indeed China, Mexico, and Syria, which was very surprising in my research to find that. I see that, Jennifer is still in the lead. Good job, good job. So yeah, the first international Girl Scout troops were established in China, Mexico, and Syria in the 1920s. Now, Girl Scouts is now very much an international organization. Over 146 countries are within the either Girl Scouts or Girl Guides, a world organization. And as you can see in this picture, so this is an example of Girl Scouts getting together with other cultures and learning from each other. And it started pretty early. USA Girl Scouts Overseas was this initiative that was created in 1925 so that they could organize troops outside of the United States, specifically for Girl Scouts. And I love this quote from Juliette Low herself. Girl Scouting and Girl Guiding can be the magic thread which links the youth of the world together. And there we have a picture, this is probably in the 1940s or 50s, of Girl Scouts painting a globe together. All right, our next question is another multi-select. During the 1930s, information about Girl Scouts was printed in these languages to reach new immigrants to the USA: Spanish, Polish, Italian, and Yiddish. So select the languages that you think they printed a Girl Scout promotional material in. You can select more than one language. All right, we've got 3 seconds left. Ooh, very good, very good. So most of y'all got that. Excellent. Let's see if that changes anything in our score. Jennifer maintaining her lead. So here are those promotional pamphlets called Who Are the Girl Scouts? And they were indeed printed in Yiddish, Italian, and Polish, specifically during the 1930s as there were waves of immigrants coming in to the United States during this time. Now here is one of the Girl Scout troops. In Savannah, there was a large population of Jewish people in Savannah, and this is an example of how Girl Scouts had a large majority of Jewish Jews in their Girl Scout troops. So here we have Troop 2. There was a Troop 1 as well. And this picture is probably around the early 1920s, maybe a little bit earlier. And this was indeed in Savannah, Georgia. Now, our next question is, this famous naturalist led Girl Scouts on nature walks and helped write the first Girl Scout handbook. And he's actually right there in the middle. Was it Walter John Hoxie, Henry Walter Bates, Aldo Leopold, or Joy Adamson? And all of these people are naturalists. So which naturalist was it? Oh, I see. I got you there. One person got it. It was Walter John Hoxie. Ooh, good job, Jacqueline. But will you get enough points to beat Jennifer? We'll see. There's still time. There's still time. So here is Walter John Hoxie. He was a very good friend of Juliette Gordon Low. And you can see his timeline there. He was born in 1848. He passes away in 1934. And here he is, you can see that picture a little bit better. There he is in the middle with his fiddle as well, surrounded by Girl Scouts. I would have loved to experience a nature walk with John Walter Hoxie. This just seems like such a fun outing. All of these girls out in nature, learning from a scientist, and apparently a very good fiddle player as well. And here is the Girl Scout manual, the first one in 1913, specifically for Girl Scouts, how girls can help their country. And this is the manual that Hoxie helped Juliette Gordon Low write. All right, our next question is, which of these is not a badge you could earn in 1920? Is it businesswomen, motorist, telephone operator, or journalist? Ooh, I got you with that one. Everybody thought it was motorist, but it is indeed telephone operator. So let's see if that changes anything for us. Nope, Jennifer's gonna stay in the lead. But yeah, so here are the proficiency tests, so what you could earn a badge for, and motorist is one of them. Now, you had to be at least 16 years old to complete your motorist test, but there's a lot of really interesting skills that Juliette Low wanted her Girl Scouts to experience and learn. And she was really big on preparing them, remember, be prepared for career paths, because for so long, Juliette Low did not know what she was going to do. She didn't have a family, she and her husband didn't work out, and so she did think about pursuing some other careers. She was a very gifted artist, so she even considered painting or sculpture for herself. Thankfully, she found Girl Scouts, but because she had this wide array of interests and, of course, wanted to have her Girl Scouts be prepared, she had a lot of skills that they would learn. And you can actually check out the entire 1920 Girl Scouts manual for free online, and I highly recommend that you do. But yes, for instance, you could, there is many, of course there's stuff that you're going to expect, like first aid, but there's also really interesting skills like journalism. I thought that was a really neat one. It may not be listed on here, but I know that Juliette Low also at least taught the girls about the new invention of the aeroplane, and kind of encouraging them to think about these new career paths of new technologies of her era as well. So definitely recommend checking out the 1920 Girl Scout manual. All right, true or false? The first Girl Scouts had to get permission from the city of Savannah to play basketball in public. Let's see what our members think. That is indeed true, yes. So, of course, let's see if that changes anything. Oh, okay, we still got the same, but everybody got some points. Jennifer's still in the lead. So here is Girl Scout Troop 1 at the basketball court behind Juliette Low's house, which was the first Girl Scout headquarters. And yeah, so they, because you can see they're wearing, some of them are wearing pants, some of them are wearing bloomers. Yes, it was quite controversial that the Girl Scouts would be playing sports in public. So they actually had to get permission from the city to play basketball in public. And people would come around and gawk at the girls. They just couldn't believe these girls were playing basketball. And they even had to put hedges around the basketball court that they had, or, a makeshift basketball court behind Juliette Low's house. So I found that very interesting, kind of funny. And here we have a picture of them, as you can see, the troop with the basketball right in the middle there. All right, next question. This future president commended the Girl Scouts for their food conservation efforts during World War I. Was it Woodrow Wilson, Herbert Hoover, Theodore Roosevelt, or William Taft? Ooh, I see, it was a bit split there. It was indeed Herbert Hoover. Let's see if that changes anything. Oh, okay, Jennifer's still strong in the lead. So here's a letter from Herbert Hoover, the Secretary of the U.S. Food Administration, and this is in 1917. It is to Juliette Low herself, and basically just commending the Girl Scouts for all of the good work and services that they did during World War I. And I had mentioned before that there was sort of a boom in expansion of recruitment for Girl Scouts, and this was the time. Remember, Girl Scouts starts in 1912. World War I is, getting started in like 1914. We're going in, and here we are in 1917. And Girl Scouts were very involved in service during this time. This was their time to shine. And so, for instance, they would work in victory gardens. So they would help to create gardens that so you could grow your own food and not take the food in the supply that needed to go to the men overseas. So here we see some Girl Scouts working on a victory garden. And you might be familiar with victory gardens in World War II as well. They do make a comeback. But they also did other services like promote purchasing Liberty bonds. So here we see Girl Scouts that are preparing for a parade during World War I to promote the selling of Liberty bonds. And this is really interesting. Here are Girl Scouts that are acquiring peach pits. And right there on the next picture, you can see a giant pile of peach pits. Now, why are they collecting peach pits? Well, the peach pits were collected because they would be used as for filtration of gas masks. The charcoal and pits of fruits were used to create a filtration substance that would be implemented in World War I gas masks. So I thought that was fascinating, and Girl Scouts were a big part of that as well. All right, our next question is, Josephine Holloway became the first official African-American Girl Scout troop leader in this year. Was it 1917, 1924, 1933, or 1951? Okay, it was sort of split, but looks like one person got it. It was indeed 1924, perhaps a little bit earlier than you might expect. So let's see if that changes. Ooh, good job, Jacqueline, getting those points, but not enough to take the lead. Jennifer's still in the lead. So here is Josephine Holloway with a Girl Scout in 1942, but she was very influential in the desegregation process of Girl Scouts. So she was leading Girl Scouts in the South, specifically in Tennessee. And in 1924, she was the first Black woman to be an official troop leader of the Girl Scouts. So it did take quite a while from 1924 all the way up to 1942, that's right, for them to be officially recognized. So she was a Girl Scout leader back in 1924, a part of a committee, so an official title. But she was also helping to organize unofficial groups in the South specifically, because for a very long time, Black Girl Scout troops went largely unrecognized. And so in 1942, the Girl Scout troops that she had organized in Nashville specifically were finally recognized. All right, our next question is, the first official Girl Scout cookie recipe was for this type of cookie. Was it sugar cookie, ginger snap, chocolate chip, or honey cookie? Ooh, okay, it was a split decision there, but it was indeed the simple sugar cookie. Now let's see who got that. Ah, very good. So Terry got some points, but Jennifer, woo, now you're in the 10,000s. Excellent, excellent. All right, so here we see, well, here is Mrs. Coolidge herself trying a Girl Scout cookie. Now, you may be aware that it's that First Ladies have an honorary title as a Girl Scout, and Miss Coolidge was one of them as well. And this is during the time when they're really trying to get the idea of cookie sales going. Now, these are not mass-produced cookies. The idea right now, at this time, in the probably the we're talking about World War I era into the 1920s, sort of slowly building up this idea of fundraising with cookies. But the Girl Scouts would make the cookies themselves using this simple recipe. And what we see there is the original Girl Scout cookie recipe that was in the magazine for Girl Scouts called The Rally. Now here we see some later promotional ads for Girl Scout cookies, and you can see that these are from the 1940s. So mass production of Girl Scout cookies is really going to take off in the 40s and 50s. They do start being mass produced in the 30s, but the popularity of them really grows throughout the 40s and the 50s specifically. But due to rationing in World War II, Girl Scouts sold these to fundraise instead. Not cookies, but socks, glass jars, calendars, or gardening seeds. Ah, I see. I thought I might get y'all with that gardening seed since I did mention Victory Gardens, but it was indeed calendars. So let's see who got that one. Ooh, good job, Terry. So yeah, here are some 1940s Girl Scout calendars. So yeah, they went with calendars instead of cookies because, of course, sugar is being rationed during this time. So another clever idea is to go with Girl Scout calendars instead. All right, true or false? The highest selling Girl Scout cookies are the peanut butter patties. Everybody says no, come on. All right, let's see if that changes anything. It's still the same score, or same ranks. We got Jennifer in the lead. Indeed, it is the Thin Mint. That is the highest selling Girl Scout cookie flavor, the Thin Mint. But gotta admit, I love those peanut butter patties. All right, next question. Girl Scouts sell about this many boxes of cookies every year. 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, or 200 million. Oh, I see. Yes, indeed. Two of y'all got it. That's a lot of cookies. It is indeed 200 million. And here are the latest Girl Scout flavors. So, of course, we at the History Center, we love our Girl Scouts. I certainly do as well, given that I have portrayed Juliette Gordon Low for many a school group here at the Northeast Georgia History Center. So we do hope that you will go out and support the Girl Scouts in your life. But at this time, we need to see who our winner is. I think we all know. So let's find out. But in third place, we've got Jacqueline. Good job, Jacqueline. Woohoo! In second place, it's Terry. Woohoo! Good job, Terry. And of course, in first place with over 12,000 points is Jennifer. Congratulations, y'all. And Jennifer. Oh, of course, we have our runners-up, Carol and other Terry. So thank you so much for joining us. I so appreciate that. And Jennifer, if you would like to gift a digital membership to a friend or family, that is your prize for winning our virtual trivia night. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And again, if you would like to become a digital member of the Northeast Georgia History Center, it's very easy to do, and it is free for Georgia teachers and homeschool groups. And you get access to our entire catalog of all of the programs that we have done in the past as well, which is well over 100. So on a variety of topics. So I hope that you will take advantage of our digital memberships. It's only $45 a year if you don't match those free qualifications, or $5 a month. And it's a great way to support history. And a lot of fun, in my opinion. So I hope you will join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, especially to our members who joined us tonight. Congratulations, Jennifer. And Jennifer, do reach out to me. We'll chat afterward to get you your prize, your digital membership. All right, folks, it has been a blast. I'm so glad we got to learn so much about the Girl Scouts. But if any teachers out there would like to meet Juliette Gordon Low, portrayed by me, then you can also visit our website for more details on that. Thanks, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful night and maybe snack on some Girl Scout cookies. All right, bye, y'all. All right, my friends.